Blacks. Joe Porter is in the studio to discuss the All Blacks team. So we're talking sport. The All Blacks named an experienced and familiar-looking lineup, for the most part, for the first test of the 2016 calendar year.
Absolutely, as they look to maintain what is a rather incredible unbeaten run against Wales, one of sport's greatest unbeaten streaks. And of course, there are only a couple of new faces in this team, Ardie Savea, loose forward, and midfielder Setha Tamanivalu, who was somewhat of a surprise, although Hansen thinks this guy has the goods, and he wasn't going to be taking any risks in this first test following the World Cup.
Most of the pundits out there, I think, could have picked the team themselves. I mean, we've got 3 changes or 4 changes from the team that started the last World Cup, and 2 of those are injury force. So the other 4 guys, Carter and McCaw, and the 2 midfielders, obviously had to be replaced. So that's what we've done.
Nonu and Conrad Smith, I mean, it's one of the greatest midfield combinations in the history of rugby. So they are moving to...
They've got Ryan Crotty starting at second 5, Malakai Fekitoa at centre. So guys who have both been there before. They've played about 28 tests between them, but not many as starting midfield combinations. Look at the Welsh on the other hand. Jamie Roberts.
Yeah.
Jonathan Davies, they've played over 100 tests between them. They're big running lads, and they're going to be sending a whole lot of action down Crotty and Fekitoa's channel. So defence is probably going to be the area where they're really tested. Fekitoa, not a huge communicator. Crotty will probably be tasked with that. So it's going to be an interesting test, and that's probably the most intriguing, I guess, part of this All Blacks.
And the other thing is, and it's difficult to say this because they'll prove me wrong, I'm sure, on Saturday night, but the All Blacks are often crap in their first game of the year. I mean, for example, a few years ago I went to see them play Canada in Hamilton. Abysmal, truly abysmal. They just don't quite gel first up.
Well, absolutely, and Hansen knows that rust will be there. This is why he's not taking any risks, and he's picked Aaron Cruden, as predicted, to start at first 5'8" instead of Bowden Barrett or Lima Sopoaga. Cruden hasn't played in 19 months, but I guess Hansen is so confident in his abilities and has had faith in who was the incumbent before Dan Carter took over again last year to take this on. So despite the fact that Aaron Cruden is filling Dan Carter's boots, taking over after 19 months out of the game, he's looking forward to this match. And of course, he's got to play his own style of game. He knows that. So he's trying not to emulate Dan Carter. He's simply trying to be himself.
You know, for me, I'm not trying to fill Dan Carter's boots. I'm just trying to be Aaron Cruden. And I guess I get the first opportunity this week to wear that number 10 jersey. So as you said, it's been 19 months since my last test. So I'm really looking forward to this one and getting out there and I guess testing myself in the test match arena and the challenge that Wales are going to bring.
Aaron Cruden, I hope he goes well.
Oh, me too.
Boy,
me too. He's a good lad.
Yeah. Right, what else are you going to tell us about our Joe?
Well, Richie McCaw's heir apparent, Sam Cane, he's been waiting in the wings to take over at open side. Another one of Hansen's early picks that people sort of went, this guy doesn't even start for the Chiefs yet. Hansen saw something, and now I guess that's coming to fruition. So I guess Kane takes his place in the starting 15 under a little bit of pressure from Ardie Savea, who really has been a revelation this Super Rugby season. But of course, Kane, it only motivates him to play better when others are chasing his tail.
Pretty much every year of Super Rugby, I've been battling with guys just to play, and you guys might say I was waiting for this opportunity, but in the last few years, my mentality had been to try and fight for the 7 jersey myself. So it's just rugby the way it is, and it's one of the strengths in New Zealand game. So it's not something that you change or get used to. It's just the way it is. It's good.
Right, Joe, we're out of time, but who's going to win on Saturday night?
Oh, the All Blacks, of course. Wales have beaten us in 63 years. 1953 was the last time it happened. The All Blacks haven't been beaten by anyone at Eden Park in 22 years.
Unbelievable.
There is simply no way. A popsicle has a better chance of not melting in hell than Wales do of beating us on Saturday night.
Joe Porter throwing down the gauntlet. Thanks, Joe. We'll have more from you tomorrow, right?
My pleasure.
Thanks, Joe. Joe Porter, live in the studio here in Auckland.